Have you ever felt jealous of someone? Perhaps it was a friend, a teammate, a colleague, or even a celebrity. Perhaps they had more success. They seemed more confident. They just had something that you wish that you had. They say comparison is the thief of joy. And there's plenty of both in this book, Mud, Malls and Mascara by ex-England rugby player Catherine Spencer. She's raw and authentic, and she shows that even the most accomplished people in the world experience insecurity and jealousy. Through reading her journey, we discover how to navigate the pitfalls of jealousy, how to use jealousy for growth, and the maturity that happens when you go from focusing on jealousy to focusing on legacy. So let's talk about the pitfalls of jealousy. This book opens with Spencer showing jealousy towards her old teammates as they lifted the World Cup trophy after she had retired. Winning the Rugby World Cup had been one of Spencer's dreams. And so when she saw her teammates win without her, she said she felt bitterness, jealousy, pain, and massive hurt. But this feeling recurred throughout the book. Later in the book, when she and some teammates went to an event where the Queen of England was there, she noted that her teammate got to address the Queen directly, whereas she didn't. She also noted that the male rugby players were being compensated fairly for their work in rugby, whereas the female rugby players weren't. And as well as this, she also highlighted the discrepancy between payment between footballers and not just rugby players, but everyone else, because footballers are paid a lot. She says, "I personally cannot believe the amount of money that is poured into football. It makes me, quite frankly, angry." Throughout the book, she is jealous of those who have won where she has lost, as if their winning was at her direct cost. Now, it's worth noting that not all jealousy is created equal. When Spencer highlights pay gaps between men and women, she's pointing at structural inequality. That's perhaps a more legitimate grievance. But some of her other jealousies, like not getting to speak to the Queen directly whilst other teammates did, highlights a different type of discontent, perhaps one that comes from within rather than from external injustice. This distinction matters because it leads us to an important question. Even if unfairness exists, is focusing on jealousy helpful? And that's how we get to our next point, using jealousy for growth. If you feel like someone else has to lose for you to win, then this fuels insatiable jealousy, and it's not helpful. If you replace that idea instead with the concept that there's space for everyone to win, then you can use jealousy as a tool. If you're jealous of someone, it usually means that you value something that they have, and that's okay. You can use them as an example for how to get it too. You can study and learn, and then work to get that thing for yourself. In Spencer's case, she was jealous of other people getting more financial compensation and recognition than her. She eventually figured out how to get those things for herself instead. Jealousy is easy. Improving yourself is hard. But regardless, Catherine Spencer eventually chose the harder path. After retiring, she struggled a bit with her own speaking gigs and noticed how difficult it was for women to find speaking opportunities. So she learnt business skills and started her own speakers agency, specifically to provide opportunities for female speakers who were being overlooked. She said that this venture nearly brought her to ruin, but she succeeded in the end. Her business allowed her to earn a living and gain more recognition, but more importantly, it became a platform to promote other underrepresented female voices. She grew so much and developed herself so much that she could now help others, which brings us to our final point, legacy over jealousy. At the start, Catherine Spencer's voice is extremely bitter and jealous, but by the end of the book, you realise that she really does care about the game of rugby and wants it to be better. As England captain, she was most proud of instilling confidence in younger players. And she also says in the book that she's proud to have played for passion, for a higher calling, and to spread the word. She acknowledges that she was an ambassador for the game, and that her image and her agency paved the way for the next generation. But her legacy expands even further. Spencer has participated in rugby development programs in Uganda, Zimbabwe, Mexico, and many more countries, developing the game globally. She's taken her platform and used it not just to address her own frustrations, but to expand rugby's reach across the world. The final line in the book is, "My work here is done." She shows that she's passing on the torch and she's choosing legacy over jealousy. In conclusion, Catherine Spencer's biography examines the universal emotion of jealousy, especially in high-stakes environments. She is honest about her own jealousy, shows how to use jealousy as a tool for growth, and demonstrates the value of focusing on legacy over jealousy. In doing so, she shows that instead of becoming bitter, you can become better, not just for yourself, but for those who come after you. If you like this book, you'll probably like another book about navigating tension in under-resourced environments, 7-7 by Ben Ryan.